Hey everyone, I'm Trevor, and today we're going to be ranking every Disneyland ride from worst to first. This is my own personal opinion, and I'll leave it at that. So let's get going. At number 34 is the Disneyland Monorail. I've placed it at the bottom because it's more of a mode of transportation than a ride, but you can definitely treat it as one. I'd also like to say that I enjoy every ride here at Disneyland, so ranking these is pretty hard. Next is Chip 'n Dale's GADGETcoaster. I'd had high hopes for this ride, but all they did was slap a new coat of paint on it and add a Chip 'n Dale. It's a good entry-level thrill ride, and was the first coaster for both of my boys, but it's not really worth the long waits that it's experiencing right now with the reopening of Toontown. Perhaps the first controversial ranking, I've placed the Mark Twain Riverboat and the sailing ship Columbia at number 32. If they had more seats, I might rank it a little higher, but you do a lot of standing at Disneyland, and standing during a 12-minute ride is not my favorite thing to do. I've placed Casey Jr. Circus Train next because this is one ride I wouldn't be sad if they ever removed from the park. That's all I really have to say about it. If you saw my rides to skip at Disneyland video, you know I don't have a great love for the Carousel, only because there are more unique rides at Disneyland to enjoy, so I've placed it at number 30 on my list. I can't handle spinning rides very well, they make me sick, so I only ranked the Mad Tea Party as high as I did because it does provide a bit greater thrill than, say, the Carousel. For pretty much the same reason as the teacups, I just don't like Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin. You can sort of force the vehicle not to spin, which makes it tolerable, but the Roger Rabbit theming isn't my favorite either. Coming in at number 27 is Astro Orbiter, a sort of spinning ride that I find to be uncomfortable. Anything over a 15-minute wait isn't worth it for this attraction, in my opinion. This one should be no surprise then, because Dumbo the Flying Elephant is the same exact ride as Astro Orbiter, but it's a bit more comfortable, so I've placed it at number 26. From here on out, things get a bit more difficult. Any of these rides could reasonably be swapped, and the number is sort of arbitrary. Storybook Land Canal Boats is number 25. I like the ride, but its long lines often aren't worth the wait. Speaking of rides not worth the wait, Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage is actually an enjoyable experience if you like Finding Nemo, and it has a short line. The slow loading at this attraction, though, often means high wait times, so we don't ride it all that often. I actually really love Davy Crockett's Explorer Canoes, and I wish I could rank it a little higher, but there are so many other good Disneyland rides that I couldn't justify giving it a better score than 23. The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is one of my family's favorite busy day attractions. When the rest of the park is sporting some of the highest wait times, Winnie the Pooh doesn't generally get much higher than 25 minutes. When we're looking for a ride in the peak of the afternoon, this is where we come. Autopia is hit or miss with me. It often depends on both the crowd levels and how many of their 4 lanes are open. We've gone first thing in the morning when it said it was a 5-minute wait, and a stopped vehicle on the track made it take 20 minutes and a lot of standing around. But when the stars align, it's a fun experience, especially for the kids, since they can drive on their own, and we have good fun with it. We're playing Operation. Every time Benji hits the center rail, I'm gonna go As we start in on the Fantasyland attractions, these next 7 rides all rank equally as far as I'm concerned. But we'll start the list off with Pinocchio's Daring Journey at number 20. Thanks to my Disneyland Rides You Can Skip video, I learned that many of you love the Disneyland Railroad, and I enjoy it too, but not enough to place it any higher than number 19 on my list. Sorry, folks. Remember, this is my own personal opinion. Where would you rank it? Let me know down in the comments. Next up is It's a Small World. As I've said before, this is my youngest son's favorite Disneyland ride. He'd place it much higher, no doubt, but I asked Amy to help me figure out where to place this, and number 18 is where we settled. Just edging out It's a Small World is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. We know this attraction has a bit of a cult following. We might have been inclined to place it below the railroad ourselves, but as I mentioned, these 7 rides are kind of all interchangeable and almost unrankable. Alice in Wonderland has the second longest line of any of the Fantasyland dark rides. Whether that makes it the second most popular or not, I don't know, but I do enjoy it a lot, so here it is at number 16. Next is everyone's favorite, Peter Pan's Flight. I do really like the ride and think the unique flying boat ride vehicle is a lot of fun, even if I had to skip this attraction in my previous ride video. It's only because of the usual 40-minute wait and not the ride itself, I promise you. Easily my favorite of the Fantasyland dark rides is Snow White's Enchanted Wish. The combination of updated effects plus a generally low wait time averaging around 20 minutes lands this ride at number 14 for me. As a huge Star Wars fan, it's no surprise that I've ranked Star Tours toward the front end of this list. Amy was inclined to place this below all of the Fantasyland rides, and you may agree with her. But once again, this is my personal list, and this is just where I wanted to put it. Next is Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. This easily edges out Star Tours for me, especially since I love video games. Every ride-through is a challenge to beat my previous score. Even if there was no ride at all, and it was just walking onto the Millennium Falcon, I'd be geeking out and would probably still rank it at number 12. Speaking of games, Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters is next on our list at number 11. If the fun Toy Story theming wasn't enough, I get another ride where I compulsively feel the need to one-up myself every time. I'm always trying to achieve that elusive galactic hero score, without the ride breaking, of course, and allowing me an infinite number of points. As we enter the top 10, the numbers become even more arbitrary, as it's so hard to rank these. But my least favorite of the 4 Disneyland mountains is next with Matterhorn Bobsleds. The ride experience can be jerky and rough, but still enjoyable. I recently learned that Matterhorn Bobsleds is the world's oldest steel coaster, so now I'm inclined to cut it a bit more slack. Next is Splash Mountain. What can I say about Splash? I only really ever ride Splash Mountain when it's warm. I don't mind getting wet, but I don't want to be cold afterwards either, if you know what I mean. I highly recommend flip-flops for this attraction, or you might be dealing with wet socks, which is possibly one of the worst feelings ever. After Splash is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. I once rode this ride 20 times in a row for the fun of it. I probably wouldn't do that again anytime soon. But I did learn that the GOAT Challenge is a real thing. If you've never sat in the back row and tried to keep your eye on the goat as you go around the corner in the middle of the ride, you're missing out on a unique feeling of vertigo that is not as bad as it sounds. I wanted to place Indiana Jones Adventure a little higher, especially since the refurb, so here it is at number 7. A week ago today, from the time of this video, Indiana Jones reopened after an extensive update. There's only one new scene, but the existing scenes have all been polished and brightened, making for an overall more enjoyable experience. However, it just can't top number 6, Haunted Mansion. I really struggled with where to rank this one too. I feel like it should have been higher than number 6, but when you see what's next, you'll understand why I put it where I did. I love that it receives a Halloween overlay that just pushes this ride to the next level and gives us 2 different rides in one each and every year. Coming in at number 5 is Pirates of the Caribbean. This is a classic attraction that I absolutely have to ride, no questions asked. It's not my favorite dark ride, or even my favorite boat ride, but it's pretty high up there and rounds out the bottom of my top 5 favorite Disneyland rides. Disneyland's newest attraction is number 4 on my list. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway quickly became a favorite of mine when it opened in Hollywood Studios in March of 2020, just before the shutdowns. I was so excited to learn that they were bringing it to Disneyland. It instantly became the second busiest line in the park, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon. You may not agree with my placement of Jungle Cruise at number 3, as the wait times for this attraction rarely make it above 30 minutes. which tells me it's not as popular as some of the others on this list, but Jungle Cruise's dry humor just resonates so well with me on a personal level, I can't explain it. I also love greenery and animals, so much so that Disney's Animal Kingdom, which is the realization of Walt's initial dream for Jungle Cruise, is my favorite of the 4 Walt Disney World parks. As long as I can remember, Space Mountain has always been my favorite ride at Disney, be it Magic Kingdom or Disneyland. That is, until one fateful day in 2019 that we'll talk about in a moment. I love roller coasters, and a roller coaster in the dark is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. To make it even better, they're bringing back Hyperspace Mountain again this May, and I am so excited. At the very top of my list is Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. Whether you agree with my placement or not, it's hard to deny that the level of immersion in Rise of the Resistance is unlike anything in any theme park. Whether you're a Star Wars fan or not, Rise of the Resistance is an experience you're not likely to forget. Well, that's every Disneyland ride ranked from worst to first. Did you agree with me? Did you not? Let me know down in the comments. And if you'd like to keep watching, check out this video that will give you some important tips to help you save money on your next Disneyland vacation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.